Hello, my name is Rod Minner. I'm in Eugene, Oregon. I'm a FileMaker developer for several years, and I've developed a CMR for a particular group of friends of mine in the Far East, and I want to show it to you. Basically, it's a CMR that has a data of a contact over here, and then we work some kind of dial outs, call back, setting up a calendars, and emailing documents from a preset pull downs. And we set tags to set several calendars, 1, 2, 3, for a certain reason that allows us to follow up on the call. And it can go through various phases, of which these tags would be dummy CMRs that would allow us to do something, and that's all programmable and very flexible. What you see across the top left hand is the person, that contact that we've added into the system. What's across the top is some color codes that will preset and mark and timestamp all the things that we do on the system, including doing emails, set a time for an alarm, broadcast that alarm, set the times in 10-minute increments, and put it to our calendar. And we timestamp that too. Now, in the process of getting data in and out, we have the process of backing up everything so that we always have everything saved. We have a process of exporting Excel sheets. We have the process of inputting from an Excel sheet. And some Word files that might be out there, import this Word file, we'll try that guy. And then what we would basically do is we would basically match the names and the phone numbers and so forth with the database. And once we did that with a full match in the right database, we would bring that data into the system. And this would be laid up here on the right-hand side with all the data. And then we would select a agent out there that this data belongs to. And there are 3 major agents. The first 3 and the bottoms are just plain agents that are under agent administrators. And I'll show you an example of choosing Betty Lou and putting that data to Betty Lou. First, I've got to make sure that this is an import process. The W button, we need to click once. And these records are going to be appended, not updated into the system. And next we're going to put the data from that agent into the rest of the 4,100 records, so that now we have an agent that has an agent administrator, and that was Betty Lou we choose. And this process would allow us, if we wanted to edit or go back and look at all the data, which I haven't filled in these columns, and that's the only last thing I have to do. But the next thing I would do is I would just simply import those records into the system. And so I'm just going to put 5 records into the system. This upgraded to 11. And so going into the file I have, looking at the data, there's not much data there. I would be able to increment through all those records and work those records one at a time. This being a new record, the first thing I would probably do is make some phone calls, where I would update my data, make some comments on something that's happening, and go from there. And everything is time-stamped again. That was a comment made on that particular record. Okay, and there was various calendar events that have been set up out into the system. Well, let's turn on the calendar, which I haven't loaded yet. Bringing up the calendar, going to the month view, allows me to see various color-coded situations out there. Okay. Now going back to this particular guy here, let's go out there and pick a new one, go to the end back here and set some kind of date. We'll set it for the 26th, which is kind of unique. And we'll set a calendar for some particular reason and save that calendar on the 26th. And if we go out here on the 26th in the calendar, it's not there until I refresh the calendar. And there I would have that particular alarm that I just set up for a particular reason. I can go back to that particular CMR, and now we're at that particular person that we happen to have created that callback calendar version at. Okay, so that was pretty simple, and I'm just talking out of my hat here. Well, there are some people that want to be telemarketed but don't want anybody else to do any communication, sending any emails. All they want to do is go get the lead and now send that lead to the agent manager and to the manager of that admin person. And so that's what you see is this agent is toggled versus if we look at some other ones out there, I have to set the show button so I show all, and then I would increment down. See if I can, okay, see how that changed? Well, this particular record is a normal way that you would do a marketing process, and when you come across somebody that in your contact list that wants to receive some email communication or some particular documents that you have already set up out there to send out to them, then their email address that's set right here is jack@jack, and all you would have to do is email that out to your client server or an SMPT mail server set out there. And I've got set up Outlook Express, so what's turning right now on the system is it's firing up Outlook Express for the first time. And it's going to basically set me up for an email process and send something, okay? And so I really didn't attach any files. I just showed you what was happening out there and showing you how that would be. And I'm going to cancel out, and because I canceled, I got an error. And because I got an error, I also tracked that. If it went out, it went out. If it didn't, it didn't. So we looked a little bit at the tracking, which happens to be things are happening in all CMRs. We have the calendar and various portholes, what's coming up first and what's behind. That one that we did a little while ago right here was basically the prior one was an internal event that was done from within the calendar itself, where everything else is pink and white, done from within the CMR itself. So the calendar is very flexible for other things. The admin section allows me to basically complete my SMT mail process and do a few other Mastar and other show and tell situations, but it also allows me to go into the admin administrator. I'm going to choose my option to get in there as the Mastar. And I have two agents that are under me, including myself, the different admin agents out there for the various agents that are under them, and the administrator that is under this agent, and the instructions to the various phases of what we need to do, and so forth and so on. So this is a agent manager process. It allows only the manager or the agent of that particular person to see only their stuff, where the master agent allows us to look at all the agents and the managers out there. And I don't want to get too much into that, but it's all a relationship situation for maintaining and tracking who's in charge of a group of agents doing telemarketing, that are sending leads to the mothership, and who did what. And so we're trying to build something that makes it usable.